raise hand tool. If you need access to record, just let me know that as well. First question will come from Royal Howell. Go ahead, Royal.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Royal.
Coach, after having a chance to look at the film from the Carolina game, and having a couple days to kind of like just collect yourself, what were just your overall thoughts on just the ending of the game, closing it out, and just moving forward to Virginia Tech on Wednesday night?
Well, I thought both teams played really well defensively, outside of a couple breakdowns. You think about a Carolina and NC State game, you're usually going to think somewhere in the 70s to, even possibly could touch the 80s. We're down the stretch. We had when they scored, when Washington got that basket from Cadeau, was kind of a tough one because we kind of tried to tie the ball up instead of switching the screen or Ben not getting back in. And then I thought, we had, a good look at the end with JT's drive. I thought Cadeau did a really good job of blowing the initial play up. And then I thought we had a good look. And then Washington obviously makes the play.
And Coach, just I know the model has been prior to Saturday, your team is 8-1 when you win the battle on the interior. Props to Craig for that stat. But is that the continue going forward? Will that be kind of like the motto of just inside outside ball feeding Middlebrooks on the paint and then finding the best shot available outside, or is it just pretty much flow the offense, whatever is available, long as it's within the flow of the offense?
No, Royal, we've been very good when our post guys, whether it's Ben or Brandon, be able to get some touches and kind of play inside out. We've been really good on the season. We've had two games where right before tip, obviously at UVA that, obviously Ben couldn't play, so that changes us. And then obviously same thing with Brandon. But our offense tends to flow a little bit better when we play the game inside out. And that's not necessarily always throwing the ball in. Sometimes that's driving the ball and our driving kicks. And, in the Carolina game, I didn't think we had enough paint touches where, we drove the ball. It was a low assist game for us, which we've had some pretty high assist games that we won this year.
Mark Berman, you're up next. Go ahead.
Good morning, Kevin. I think you've lost three of your last four. Is there a common kind of theme in those losses that you're looking to improve upon on Wednesday?
Well, I look at it, Mark, as we've had four games that were one possession games, and we ended up winning, two of those. The UVA game, and I'm talking about conference, just so you know this. UVA game was a 3-point game. We, didn't think we played well in the second half defensively. I'm going back to Florida State, our first game that went into overtime, and then the two games this week between the trio of us, Carolina and Notre Dame. All three of those games between each team could have went a different way. We played better defensively this week. We just got to find a way to score a few more points. When you look at both of those games, it was in the low 60s, and if we can get a little bit more ball movement, player movement, I think we'll be fine.
Marcus Hill's been a nice addition to your team. What have you liked about what he's brought to to your team this year?
You know, Mark, he's starting to get comfortable. A lot of times when a guy transfers from a mid-major program to a Power Five, it takes a little time, and you always wonder, does his game translate to this level? And you seeing that he can be very successful the way he plays, and he's been really good paint touch guy. He's gotten to his 15 to 18-foot pull-up jump shot. I think in Notre Dame he stepped up and made a couple threes, and so he's just starting to feel comfortable in our system right now.
Thank you.
Jaden Watson Fisher, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, do you have any updates on Brandon Huntley Hatfield after being off for a couple days?
No, we don't right now, Jaden. We'll see him. I'll see him at practice, and we were off yesterday, so hopefully, we'll see where he's at. But I don't have any updates on him at this moment.
To follow up, you mentioned the three one possession games. This team has shown flashes of really great stuff on both ends of the floor. Do you feel like you're close to putting it all together?
I like where we at. I mean, you can, there's a thin line between being 3-2 and 2-3, and I completely understand that. But we've closed some games off. We've had some great defensive stops at the end. You look at Notre Dame, we scored, and the Notre Dame game was kind of a little bit opposite of, the way the Carolina game ended. But I do like where we are. I think we're starting to put it together a little bit more defensively than we are offensively. But, in those four games, and I'm talking about our four ACC games, those were all games that could have went either way. And right now we're 2-2 in those, and hopefully we can build on the ones that we won, not the two that we lost.
Corey Smith, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin. So going back to Saturday's game, Ben Middlebrooks, career high 14 rebounds for him. How critical is it? First of all, he had to have that type of role when he was going against when you don't have Ben Middle or Brendan Huntley Hatfield in this game. But how big is that to get that from him, not only in this game but potentially moving forward?
Well, it's Corey. It's big because I mean I think he's just against Notre Dame was when I thought he was just getting back to feeling well. I obviously couldn't play in the Virginia game, and then at Wake I still think he wasn't nowhere near where he needed to be. But for him to come in and play 30 some minutes and to be able to provide us with what he provided us, not knowing that Brandon wasn't going to play in the game. It's tremendous. I hope he can continue to grow in those areas and get better. But we needed every rebound that he got, and he's a guy who was part of the big run last year, and so he's a guy who's been through some ups and some downs, but winning at the end, and we're gonna get better as he continues to get better.
And going back to that game as well, Bryce Hurd played a little bit in that one. It's been kind of a mixed bag in terms of freshmen that are going to play in each game. Where is the progress for guys like Bryce Hurd, Paul McNeil, Trey Parker right now, and could we see more of them moving forward?
Yeah, I think you will. I mean, those guys are, they're starting to get better in practice, and obviously with our rotation, we're getting down to maybe eight guys, and then it's going to be one or two of those guys that's going to play each game, and a lot of that's going to be determined how they practice. Some of it could be matchups. I thought Bryce came in was very solid. Trey's had moments where I thought he's played solid, and so has Paul. And so as those guys continue to grow and get better and understand what we're looking for, I think you'll see more of those guys on the floor, in an increased minute role.
Thank you.
Last questions will come from James Henderson. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Kevin, you mentioned Marcus's development as the season's going on. Is he a guy who you could see maybe in your system playing more as a playmaker as you go through the year on the ball?
Yeah, James, we're starting to move him around in different spots, and I like the way he's playing. And I said this, as he gets comfortable, you can put him in different spots and understand that part of it. But what? Between you'll see him play some point, between him, Breon Pass, Trey Parker, and obviously and Michael. We're gonna shift him around and play some different, move him in different spots.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.